Hi everyone, Sarah here from Sarah Homfray Embroidery. We are working on our little stitch sampler. Looks a little bit like this here. It's a long one. I'm also doing it on my frame as well. And today we're going to have a look at Rhodes stitch. So if you see my video on star stitch, this is very similar to that, but we're going to put more stitches in. So the star stitch is made of two little crosses, one that goes that way and one that goes that way. And with Rhodes stitch, we're going to do a sort of similar effect that we're going to pile the stitches on top, but we're going to go around in a circle. Now, if you want to, you can mark on where they go. I like to do them freehand, but you might find while you're just learning that it's a good idea to mark on. So if you do 4 points and then two little ones in between, and we get kind of a circle, I'm going to roughly follow the circle. So I'm going to come up at 12 o'clock, doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to do this one in a perle thread, and then I will try one in a stranded cotton as well on the one that we're working in our hand, and we can see the difference between the two. And I'm going to go straight across the shape to 6 o'clock. And then what I'm going to do is work my way around. So with the star stitch we went like that, we put two crosses over, but I'm going to come up now right next to this one, sort of the 1 o'clock position to the 7 o'clock position, and you'll see what happens quite quickly here. I'm going to go back to there, and we're just going to keep crossing, so right across the middle each time, and you'll see this stitch start to build up. Really nice texture in the middle, this one. What you want to do though is make sure you reach the opposite side at the same time. So now if this was a clock face, I'd be at 3 o'clock. So I want to be at 9 o'clock on the other side. If I'm not there and I'm back here, we're going to get a bit of a gap when we finish. So try and spread those out nicely if you can. So it is worth putting those markers in while you practice this. I'm going to do one there. So that's 4 o'clock. 10 o'clock. There's a little bit of a gap here, but if I just squish that in. 5:30, 10:30, 20 to 6. So you can see you still get this round shape, but we've got a lot more stitches in now. We've got a really high shape. It's really lovely texture on that one. So I'm going to do one without the dots, see if we can get round. You don't have to do it in a circle. You can do these in a square if you want to cut yourself a little square bit of fabric. You're still going around. These ones will be longer in the corner. The principle is exactly the same. So by the time I get to my 3 o'clock, I need to be at 9 o'clock. If you're not there, you can adjust them. You can come a little bit wider here and a little bit further closer together over there. So you can adjust to some extent. Nice little tiny one. They're lovely, so you can just group these together. You could make lovely flowers out of these, and if you did them in like a variegated thread, the colour would change as well, which would look really nice. So you can group them, or you can just use them singly to add some interest to your embroideries. Oh, I'm doing that wrong. That would be if I was doing a star stitch and I had to come up next to it. There we go, 2 o'clock and then 3 o'clock. So very similar, but more stitches in this one, and a really lovely textural finish. I'm just going to finish this one off, and then I'll show you on the handheld sampler. I'm going to try that same stitch with stranded cotton now. I haven't taken the strands apart, so let's see what that looks like. So I've got 6 strands in here. Let's do a slightly bigger one. So this is quite a thick thread. You can strand it down if you want. Use fewer strands if you want to use 3 or 4. If you want a smaller one, you might want to do that. Remember, you can mark the circle on if you want to. Just thinking of my clock face, that's a good way of thinking of it. You can put more stitches in than there are on a clock face. Don't have to be 12 points, but if you want to pack them in nice and tightly and get a really dense one, you can do that. Just careful when you're doing it in your hand not to pull it too tight. Can you see how I'm pulling on that? You need a nice loose tension on it, which is why it's quite good to do it in your hand and not on a frame. It just helps you get nice even tension. If you pull it too tight, it's not going to be nice and round. And I'm expecting these strands just to spread out a little bit. Which they are doing on top. So let's put that next to the other one and see what they look like together. So there we've got our star stitch. Here we've got our Rhodes stitch, and that's in the pearly thread, and here's the Rhodes stitch in the stranded cotton. So they do look quite different. This one is spreading out a little more, it looks a bit more full. This one you can sort of see the individual like flowers. So if you were thinking of doing flowers in this, have a little think about what thread you might use, because they will have different effects. This one's going to be more defined, this one's going to be more kind of fuller and like it's got lots more petals, and you could play with other threads as well. You could play with silks and you could play with wools and see what they do. So different threads will always work differently in all of these stitches that I'm doing on this stitch sampler, so definitely worth trying what you have. So if you want to have a go at that star stitch as well, that stitch is up here, and if you want to have a go at the whole project, you haven't joined us yet on this stitch along project and you want to see how to set it up and all the other stitches, there's a playlist down here with all of the stitches in. Do go and check those videos out. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you next time.